Belize City or Belmopan?
Belmopan.
Welcome back to another episode of the Captain 501 broadcast. Thank you guys so much for being here. And it's another guest episode. So, of course, we're being joined by another incredibly talented Belizean guest. So, to give you a bit of an introduction, she's been described as a pioneer in Belize's music education. She has a Bachelor's of Arts in Music Education, and she's founded and directs the Pannerifix Steel Band, and she has traveled locally and internationally with the band. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome none other than Miss Julietta Burrowes.
Thank you.
Thank
Wow, that's nice.
Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate
Sure.
you taking the time out.
Sure, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. I didn't realize I was so cool to be on your podcast, but thanks.
Of course. So I want to start back to nearly towards the beginning. How did you start expressing yourself creatively through music?
Oh my goodness. From I was a child, I've been exposed to music because my father was a baritone singer, musician, and that's my first experience with music at home. And then from there, I started taking piano lessons at the Palace School of Music, and from then on, university, and just from all my life, I've been doing music. So it's what I know. It's all I know.
Right, right. And something interesting that I think a lot of people don't know too is that you're not only skilled in steel pan, but you also play piano.
Right, piano is my first instrument. I studied piano formally with Sister Teresa at the Palotti School of Music for 19 years. And then I further went on to college and I did piano as my major instrument. I did music education with piano as my primary instrument, but I also did voice as a minor. And as a music education major, you need to do pretty much all the instruments of the orchestra. So each semester, I did a different instrument. So I did wind 1 year, which was a trumpet. I did viola another semester, for strings. I did percussion. So just about everything that you need to know as a music educator, I needed to do. So yeah, I can play a little bit of everything. I don't master all of them, but I know a little bit of everything.
Nice, nice. So then now, how did we get to steel pan? Where did that interest stem from?
So when I came back from college, I lived right around the corner from where Steel Band practice, and Lin Young, who was the director of the band at the time, he knew me from before I went to school, and so he said, you know what, Julietta, you're back in Belize, you have your degree, you have your qualifications, you must could come and play with us, one, and two, help us musically, arrange music and stuff like that. I shied away from the arranging because at that time that wasn't really my strong area. It still isn't, but I try double now. But yeah, that's where I first was introduced to steel pan. I played with Pan Tempters for a few years before I moved to Belmopan, where I now reside. And then from there, the former Governor General, Sir Colville Young, who happens to be Lynn's father, recognized that I was in the Belmopan community, and I had on behalf of the school where I was teaching at the time, Our Lady of Guadalupe Primary, I reached out with a proposal asking for musical instruments for our school. And he recognized that I was there, and he said, nah, I won't give you any recorder or any other type of marching band instruments. I have something better for you, but if you can be patient, I'll get back to you. And so maybe about 2 years later, he called me into his office and he said, I have some steel pans for you. You want them? I go like, of course. And from there, the rest is history. It's been 20 years now since I've been teaching steel pan in Downtown.
Nice, nice. And then, of course, that brings us to Pannerifix, one of the most recognized steel bands in the country, I would say. Yeah.
Right, that's right. They birthed the Pannerifix Steel Band right there 20 years ago.
And then now you also have your own music school too as well.
Yes, I teach privately. I recently retired from the classroom. And so now I teach privately, just to keep me busy and, keep the mind working.
So if somebody wanted to get in contact with you to get some lessons, how would they do so?
Oh, I can give my phone number here, or they can reach me on Facebook. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. Yes. Do you also do like summer camps and other opportunities like that?
Well, through the Steel Band, we do offer summer camps. From the inception, we recognized that there was a high interest in people wanting to learn how to play steel pan, and so every summer we have steel pan camps. I have I have other camps that I engage with. The Suzuki Institute locally has a branch here in Belize, and so I would team up with the director of that, and I would teach steel pan as an extra class. So the students are primarily string players, but they're exposed to other styles of music and other instruments, and steel pan is one of them. So I do that for them. And then starting this year, now that I'm retired, I believe I'll be engaging in my own personal summer camps as well.
Nice, nice. So how big is the band currently?
The band, if I count heads, it would be close to 50. But that is because we have three groups. We have a junior group made up of mostly primary school children, a couple high schoolers in there, but they're the beginners. After the summer camp, we would invite them to join our steel band. So that's one way to get into the band. From our summer camps, you're invited to the junior band once there's space. And then we also have the senior band, which is the band that is more popular. That's the one that plays for hire, that goes all over and entertains. And then there is an adult band made up of parents, of some of the band members, friends, just people from the community, all adults who want to play pan. So we have three groups. So if you combine all those, we have about 50 to 55, depending on membership from year to year.
Is it like anybody can join? How does it, what's the requirements or criteria?
Anybody. It's open to anybody. Initially, when we first got the instruments, it was primarily for the students at the primary school, Our Lady of Guadalupe Primary and Our Lady of Guadalupe High School. So we had two groups, and we would switch out during practice, right? So eventually we acquired more instruments that now we can have a larger group all at once, and as well invite people from the community. So we have members from all the different schools in Velmopan pretty much as members of our steel band.
Season 2 of the Captain 501 broadcast is brought to you by the National Institute of Culture and History, NICH. NICH is Belize's premier cultural institution dedicated to empowering contemporary and traditional creatives, nurturing their talents, and recognizing their roles as catalysts for change in our communities, safeguarding both our tangible and intangible heritage. The NICH vision to create a Belize that embraces and promotes our cultures, our values, our identity, our prosperity in our global community is brought to life through a diverse array of programs and initiatives. You can learn more about the resources provided by NICH by visiting the Museum of Belize or the Museum of Belizean Art located in Belize City, the various houses of cultures located countrywide, as well as visiting nichbelize.org or other websites and tools such as the 501 Academy and Access 501. All right, Miss Julietta, I wanted to get to introduce my audience to you a little bit better. So with that, I have a little bit of a game.
Okay.
This one is called the Belizean Would You Rather. So I'm gonna give you two different options, and you just pick which one relates to you most. All right. So first one, Coke or Red Fanta?
I don't drink either, but if I were to choose, it would be the Coke.
Kikaka or Placencia?
Placencia.
Ooh. Is that one instant?
Yes.
San Pedro or Stan Creek?
It depends where in the Stan Creek district. There's some
Okay,
beautiful places.
let's say Hopkins.
Oh, Hopkins.
I see you like down south.
Yes.
Lemon pie or jam roll?
Lemon pie.
Oh, okay. Kaya or Corozal?
Oh boy, that's a hard one. I like both. I would say Kayo. just because of the mountains and the rivers and the creeks and the valleys. Although I love the sea, I think there's a lot more. At least I've experienced more in the Cayo district than in Corozal.
Okay, okay. Belize City or Belmopan?
Belmopan.
Belize City Carnival or Orange Walk Carnival?
Oh my goodness. I've attended both. I've participated in both with Steel Pan. Oh my goodness. I think that's a tie. I really can't choose between the two. I've experienced both as a young woman and as an adult. So I really can't say. I don't want to be biased, but I love both.
Okay. And lastly, would you prefer to go snorkeling or climb a Maya ruin?
Climb a Maya ruin. I'm afraid of the underworld.
Well, you're definitely more of the adventurous type, it seems.
Yeah, I like a little adventure, but safe adventure.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense, makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk to you about Panyard. How did you become involved in Panyard? What's the history behind the connection of Pannerifix to Panyard?
All right. Well, I believe, I can't remember the exact year. I want to say 2011. My members can correct me. But I believe that was the first Panyard. We were invited by Niche. And we were a young band. We wanted opportunities to perform. And coming out of Belmopan to come and play in Belize City was a big deal for our members, right? So we jumped at the opportunity. And we've been participating pretty much every year since then.
Nice, nice. And I think that you're one of the groups that are, sought out and everybody looks to see what it is that you guys are bringing each year. And I think one of the reasons for that is that you keep the melodies, the music that you play culturally relevant. One of the things that I like about the band is that you always find a way to include not only international music, but also our local Belizean music.
Right. That is our goal, that we play music that is relevant, one, cultural, two, but also we try to play a mixed genre so that we appeal to different audiences. That is not just the music that I like, because if I teach them music that I like, it will be all classical. Because that's my foundation, classical music. But yeah, because they're all young adults, teenagers, they have their own interests, their own likes in the styles of music. And so I try to give them what they like, but also meet the needs of our audiences, because we play for mixed audiences, for private events as well as for events like Panyard, so we try to throw in a little bit of everything, a little soca, reggae, a little Latin, Belizean style. So yeah, that's our mission.
Yeah. And I think another reason why people like the group too is that when you look on the stage and you see all of the members playing, you could tell that everybody's enjoying what they're doing, and it just gives off that energy that it makes you want to dance and enjoy the night.
Of course, they feed off the audience as well, but they need to throw that out. Right. So yeah, they do enjoy the music. I always ask them, is anybody punishing you to be here? Then okay, then you need to show that you're enjoying yourselves.
Right. Yeah. So when it's time to come up with a new set, what does that look like? What does that creative process look like?
Well, I would get their input. I would ask what they want to learn. What is new? What is hype? What's the in song right now? From rap, which it's hard to do a rap song on pan because it's pretty much just one note repeated over and over, right? But genres that are appealing to this younger generation, I try to tap into that. And so, of course, I give them a little bit of what they want, and then I will say, here, what I think we need to throw in something maybe old school, Wally R&B, something different, just to make the playlist when we do go and play anywhere appealing to as many people as possible.
Yeah, and I mentioned Panyard because that's how we met each other. When the first time it was my first time at Panyard, and I also got to share the stage with the Pannerifix. But I also enjoy to how you always find something new to bring to the stage besides just the band playing. I remember one year you had like the Garifuna drummers, and yeah. So how do you come up with the next big thing for the next Panyard?
That just happens by itself. I don't really plan and say, well, what is it? We want to do different. It just comes. I try to look at what's happening in the world globally. One year it was about peace. There was so much violence in our country. And so, we chose songs that reflected more themes of peace. We try as much as possible to incorporate local Belmopan talent. So we've had from Jacob James Diggs. He's now deceased. He rapped, right? One of his original pieces with us and sang on a song. We've had our own internal vocalist sing. One time we had the talented young man from Belmopan. His name is slipping me right now. Oh my goodness. The Garifuna group. Oh my gosh, we
Is
have
it
to.
Nawani?
Yes,
Yeah.
Noani.
Mhm.
So we've had Noani Martinez and his group play alongside us as well. So we try to incorporate as many local talents in Belmopan as possible, bring them to the Belize City stage, so to speak, but also highlight them within, because we do have our own panyard in Belmopan, which has been growing significantly in the past couple years. We went from just our band and one other to now this last panyard in 2025, we had 2 other bands join us. And this year we're hoping to make it 4, So yeah, we just try to incorporate as much as possible from our local community in our performances at Panyard.
Nice, nice. So where are some other places that the band has taken you?
Well, aside from traveling extensively throughout Belize, we've been from Corozal to PG, from Cayo to San Pedro. We've been traveled throughout Belize. We've been to, our first international gig was in Denver, Colorado, back in 2007. I think we had just formed like a year or so, and we got the invitation after playing at an event in Placencia. A person staying at the resort came up to us and said, I would like for you guys to come to the States. It just so happened to be Susan Morris, who is one of the founders of B&E. And so she transported us to Denver and had us perform for schools, for private events. That was our first international exposure. Since then, we've been to Mexico City. We've been to Bacalar, Playa del Carmen. We've been to Nicaragua, with the hopes that we would have been able to do some type of teaching and training there, but that never did materialize. Yeah, so we've been a few places, and we don't know what the future holds, where we'll go next.
What are some places that you would like to perform?
Oh my goodness, I would love to take the band, or at least a few of them, to Panorama in Trinidad, in Antigua and Barbuda. Actually, last year, one of our members performed with the winning band in Antigua and Barbuda, Hell's Gate Steel Orchestra. He went to do dual. He went to learn how to make steel pans, and at the same time, he worked with the Hell's Gate Steel Orchestra, and he was able to perform with them. He made the final cut, and he was actually able to play with them at their Panorama, and that band won last year. 6 feet, I believe, 6-time champions. So that is a goal for us, that we get more international exposure and experience playing with other panists in other countries, neighboring countries, that is, yeah.
Nice, nice. What's some advice that you would give to up and coming musicians or artists who may want to try out a new instrument but are a bit hesitant to do so?
Just go for it. Just give it a try. You never know unless you try. We've had students who were enrolled in our program because their parents wanted them to do it. And they were a bit hesitant at the beginning and wasn't sure if this was what they wanted. And now they love it. I can't get rid of them. They're still in the band. Right? So go for it. Don't be shy.
Who would you say, or what would you say are some of your inspirations?
Oh my goodness. There's plenty. I actually get inspired by my students. They inspire me to want to do music, to want to prepare the songs that they want to do. So they inspire me to create, to arrange music, right? Lin Young is one of my initial person that inspired me to do steel pan and to arrange music. Sir Calville Young, his father, and of course my own father. He was a composer, and I just admired the fact that he had limited training in music, but was able to produce beautiful pieces. Most of his compositions are for the church. He composed an entire mass, which is sung, in many churches around Belize City primarily. But yeah, I would say he's the ultimate inspiration, just based on the fact that he did what he did with love, with passion. And I believe that whatever you do, whatever we do in life, whether it is music or engineering or whatever field you're in, you should be passionate about what you're doing. And I saw that in my dad, and I believe that has been passed on to me, that I do believe I do music because I'm very passionate about it.
Nice. Well said. Well said. Are there any upcoming performances that we can look forward to?
Okay, so the band we have gigs. We get invited to perform throughout the year. So I can't say for sure what all are the different gigs, but we are planning different events this year. Last year was our 20th anniversary, and they said this year we're official. We're turning 21 this year, so we're official now. We're legal. So we're doing a few fundraisers this year. Family Fun Day. We're working on that for March, just before the Easter break. Then we have Panyard, of course, in Belmopan. That will be the last weekend in August. So mark the calendars one time. Right, August 29th, Belmopan Panyard is going to be it. That's a Panyard to be.
There we go. There we go.
And then in December, we're having a dinner concert in Belmopan. We're a usual item at San Pedro's Lobster Fest. Every year for the past, I believe, 10 or so years, we've been the opening act at the block party for San Pedro's Lobster Fest. So I'm looking forward to that again this year.
Nice, nice. And lastly, where can the people contact the band or you in order for bookings or to find out what's happening next?
All right. Well, our Facebook page and Instagram page, Pannerifix Steel Band, we have our contact information there, which is my phone number, 635-9339. That's how you can reach us.
All right, well, there you go. That brings us to the end of our episode. A big special thank you to Miss Julietta Burrowes for making her way onto the Captain 501 broadcast season 2. I'm so appreciative of it. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And thank you guys too for watching. If you want to see more, definitely check us out on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And we will see you guys in the next episode.